What is going on, party people? It is your Wednesday night sports delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smooth, and thank you all for tuning in to a show that's been going on 5 years strong, consistently every Wednesday night, bring you nothing but great content, great shows. And tonight, it's a two-man show. I'm not alone. Got my boy T Bone. What's
Hey,
happening?
what's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Yes,
Another
sir.
week,
We
a lot of
here.
sports.
Man, I mean, lots of sport. This is like one of the best times of the year, man. Having baseball, having basketball, having football, having hockey. I mean, it's crazy. If you saw my setup right now, my desk, you'd be like, you must be in the back cave because I got like two tablets going on. I got my cell phone. I got a screen to my left that has a baseball game on. I have one baseball game on. A screen to my right that has a baseball game on. I mean, it's just bananas right now, but I love it. And we also love our favorite fan of the show, Miss Williams. And let me pull this up. Oh, wait a minute. Where is that? Trying to see where her comment is, but she's saying hi Fred, hi T-Bone. Can you see it right now? I can't see it.
I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, for some reason not showing on mine, but it's all good. There you go. So shouts out to Miss Williams. We appreciate you. And everyone right now, get them shares going, get them lights going, because we have a great show in store for you. Shouts out to Joe. Shouts out to Bunny. Joe will not be on this evening. Bunny, we're not sure yet. She may hop on, no pun intended, but but we shall definitely see, man. So before we continue on, T-Bone, tell them where people can find us and follow us and everything, man.
Well, for those of y'all, most likely y'all found us on YouTube. And hey, if you have, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. You know what I mean? And when you go ahead and subscribe, make sure you go ahead and hit that
bell.
That's right, because that way when we go live, you will be
notified.
That's right. And hey, look, we also have a few shows here. But before we get to that real quick, hey, look, we're on Roku. So if y'all want to see us on there, see it. If maybe y'all want to look at us on the big screen, y'all got them 65, 85, 105-inch TVs out there. Go ahead and put us on Roku so you can see us there. Hot 365 radio also. So for some of y'all, y'all might be on the job, can't really watch, might want to listen. So that way y'all can listen to us on Hot 365 Radio, hot365radio.com. It's always hot out there. You know why? Because we're there every week. That's right. Hey, if you're looking at the first Wednesday of the month, we've got Ladies' Night. And hey, Smooth, I think you had an announcement about Ladies' Night, right?
Yes, I did. Had it on the show. On the on social media.
Breaking news.
And they have a new member to the panel, Coach Brittany Willis. She's a great addition, has a lot of energy. Look forward to getting more of her input, more of her passion for sports. So she is now on the Ladies' Night panel. Definitely exciting times for the show.
Can I just say that feels like it was one of the worst kept secrets out there? I mean, we hadn't been announced yet, but it's already there. You can already see it. And I got to tell you, when you had her picture on Ladies' Night a few weeks ago, when she made her first appearance on it, or I guess a couple months ago now, when she made her first appearance, I was like, man, that looks like it fits right there. Just looks like it fits completely. But hey, Ladies' Night isn't the only extra show we got out there. We got the Man Cave as well. Hey, I'm there for that too. Y'all can check me out. And all the rest of the fellas, the last Wednesday of the month, it's the Man Cave. So you know what? We're going to get the different perspectives. We got the ladies' perspective the first Wednesday, the Man Cave the last Wednesday. And if you've ever seen these shows, we do have some different opinions on everything.
Man, ain't lying.
That's the way it needs to be. You should see what that chat looks like if y'all don't know. Oh, you didn't know? That's right. But hey, check us out. We got a lot of shows out there, lots of special guests, special interviews, and hey, go ahead and give us those follows on everything out there and support us the way that we want to support y'all out there.
That's right. And y'all see that QR code on the top right of the screen. If you use your phone, you can scan it. If you have the QR code option, you can scan it And you can follow the platform Sports Talk Show or anything related to Smoooth Productions. It's a vibe, y'all. So get on it and let's go. Also, I want to show love to one of our ladies' night members, Coach Dominique Stringer. This weekend, she has a very important event coming up. It is Team Action No Mercy Breast Cancer Awareness Walk. If you are available this Saturday at 8 a.m., 111 Westport Plaza Drive in the Lou, come on out. I will be there along with my SA Dub, my wife, Jayance. Love you, mama. I'm wearing this shirt. I'll show you the shirt in a minute, the full shirt very soon. But come out there, wear your pink. Go to www.actionnomercy.com for more information. Check out the Breast Cancer Awareness Walk. Be a part of something wonderful. It's been nothing but love with Coach Stringer. She done so much stuff for the Lou. She recently came out to show my wife some love for Girls for Life. Girls with the Z at the end for life. They had she had a recent event. Of course, for the young ladies, just trying to have a positive influence with the great organization. So it was a great time, and we just want to show her the love as well in regards to Coach Stringer and Action No Mercy. So if you're free this Saturday morning, come on out, show love, 8 a.m., 111 Westport Plaza Drive. You can order your shirt once again at www.actionnomercy.com. I'll have a display later on this evening so y'all won't forget. Put it in your systems. Let's turn up, let's show out, and show love, y'all, right there.
That's what's up.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, speaking of which, once again, got the shirt. This is something that I haven't worn since we was in Vegas 2020, 21. I like this. I put a ring on it. So the wife and I was talking about the Golden State Warriors. No, which is her thing. No, I'm doing this for you because I love you and I'm letting the whole world know. I put a ring on it. Hey, let's go. But
hey, you know what else happened this past weekend?
What happened?
It's homecoming season, y'all. I mean, it's homecoming season.
Hey,
so look. And it wasn't just Kentucky State University's homecoming, although they did get the victory against the school that they faced, whatever their name was. But hey, for locally, for all my Normandy Vikings out there, it was homecoming for Normandy as well. And they got the victory. So look at that, 2-0 homecoming season. Hey, and any of y'all know, that's something me and Sadal can agree on when it comes to sports. We're always glad to see those Normandy Vikings do well, and we want to see them continue to do well. So, hey, go out and support your local, hopefully, Normandy Vikings. Support high school sports. Support those players. They out there doing their best. They need support. Not just the football team, not just the basketball team. Go support the wrestling teams if your school has one. Track teams, volleyball. Support them all. At least go to one game. Make it a goal next year to go to at least one game of every team, not every team, of every team that your school has. Make that. I think that should be a good goal that everybody should have at least one time.
And speaking of which, shouts out to my choir director, Dwayne Foster. He is the assistant principal at Normandy High School. So shouts out to him. Yeah. And to see Miss Williams says that she watched the Normandy homecoming parade Saturday, went right past her house.
I was out there early in the morning. It was too cold for me. I had to come back home. But I was out there when they getting ready over at Skate King.
Oh my Lord. Harrison Bader, former Cardinal, just hit a home run. This man has had like 4 home runs in the postseason for the Yankees. He's showing out right now. Yankees are up 1-0. Velocity, exit velo was 103. Took Justin Verlander deep. And then baseball-wise, the San Diego Padres are up 8-5 against the Philadelphia Phillies. That series is 1-0 Phillies at this moment. Tonight's game with the Astros and the Yankees is the first game of the series, so a whole lot of sports going on. And your favorite sports talk show on a Wednesday night is holding things down. So with that being said, let's get right into our topics. You now have my attention. what sports story or stories has your attention? T-Bone.
Hmm. What sports story has my attention? That is a good question. Let's see. Uh, you may have to circle back around to me on this one because I had a thought and just completely left me there.
I got you. So I'm gonna start off with the Missouri Tigers football team. This is a team that I had big hopes on. Not saying they're gonna win the SEC at all, but I expected them to be very competitive over these last, 2 or 3 seasons, especially since they got Eli Drinkowitz. And at this time, they're looking pretty bad. They're like 2-4 to start to begin the season. They've had opportunities to beat a quality team or two, and they just have not done it. They came very close to beating number one at the time. Well, I believe they're still number one. Georgia Bulldogs. They had the game, they had the win, and they pretty much coughed it up and choked. Um, and the reason I'm so frustrated is because our neighbors, they were like in the same boat as Mizzou, meaning Illinois and Kansas, University of Kansas. Both of those teams now are playing very well, and both, I believe, are ranked. Mizzou is like, I'm sorry, Illinois is like top in the top 20 now. KU was in the top 25. They may be just below that now, but both of those teams are playing great. And it's like, that's where Mizzou should have been by now, and they're not. And it's frustrating, for those who are Mizzou fans. I know that my wife, she's an alum at Mizzou. We have plans on maybe going to the homecoming game, but we like, man, bump that. Why go to the game now? The team ain't even, inspiring us to, to go there and watch the game. But right now, the team isn't looking as good as we thought. Luther Burden, the guy that we had the discussion about a few weeks ago when we had Johnny Parker on at his event. I'm sorry, at his gym. He's been hurt. It's just been it's just little issues, man. Quarterback play hasn't been good from Brady Cook. There's no flow on offense. The defense looking pretty solid, but they're getting tired because of the offense not doing their part. Kind of like how the Rams were those last few years here in St. Louis. The defense was all right, was pretty good, but the offense couldn't hold their own, and then it wore down the defense. But right now, Mizzou does not have any kind of cohesion, no kind of flow, no kind of identity. And you're seeing these other teams like Illinois and University of Kansas and Arkansas, they're ranked, and Kentucky, they're ranked. These teams that we thought Mizzou should be in the same level or better, they're not. So to me, it's frustrating, and not sure if Eli Drinkowitz will be around that much longer if we don't see some change. T-Bone.
Letting Kentucky get ahead of you, that's embarrassing.
Man.
It should never be ahead of anybody.
No.
Ever.
No, I'm sorry. And I know why you say that because of your shirt, but
when I lived in Frankfurt, right? I felt like I might as well. People would be like, "Oh, you went to Kentucky?" And this is basically what they like. Yeah, Kentucky. You mean the school that doesn't have these colors? It's like they only knew that there was one Kentucky school, depending on which side of Lexington and Louisville you were on. But most people felt like, oh, you're either UK or U of L. Like no other school existed. Get out of here, people. But hey, there was a sports story. It took me a while because it was a little while back now. But Monday, was it Monday? Wait, when was the Bills and Chiefs game? That was
Sunday.
Sunday. So you had the Bills and you had the Chiefs, and the Bills beat the Chiefs, right? Now, here's the thing. The Buffalo Bills have always been a team where it's really hard to take them seriously because for most people, especially our age, we're always going to remember the team that went to 4 Super Bowls and lost straight, right? So, over the past couple of years, there's always been a thing where it's like, oh, look, this might be Buffalo. This might be their time. This might be it. Especially when Tom Brady left the Patriots and basically was theirs to take, right? And it seemed like, okay, well, the Bills might be on their way to doing something. And it was Kansas City was always like right there to kind of like, you know, knock them off. And even in the playoffs last year, they had a game where Chiefs had wound up knocking them out, but not before it was a shootout, right? They had a shootout in the playoffs, right? Buffalo just beat them. And I know that they're only going to face one time in the regular season, but if I'm Buffalo, you know, that's the game that they want to win right there in the regular season to give them that confidence. And I think that Buffalo, again, is going to wind up going to the playoffs pretty deep. And who knows? That might be the thing in the season that gets them to Super Bowl talk. That's it.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the Bills are a team to watch. I believe I had the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, but I would not be surprised if Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl. They're on a mission. They're mad about what happened last year in the playoffs, and I know it's the regular season, but it's kind of like a redemption game from last week. You know, beating KC at KC. What's the quarterback's name?
Like a few when Mahomes lost to the Patriots in the playoffs, then the next season they came back and beat them in the regular season.
Yep, and Josh Allen. I mean, the quarterback from the Bills. He had an incredible run. He evaded one guy. He jumped over another guy. Went about 5 more yards. I mean, you talking about just being like obsessed. Like, you know what? I'm determined to find out. Not find out, but to do what it takes to win the game, man. He did that. And it's funny that my boy Miko, shouts out to him. He says, what about Odell? So word is that the Chiefs, word is the Chiefs are in the mix, are in the running to sign him. If that happens, oh boy. But another team that's in the mix, and I brought this up, I believe, last week, but he could also join the Bills. And maybe that game last week could have propelled him to be like, maybe I should join Buffalo. But, you know, we shall see.
I still think if it came down to the two, I would still think he would go with the Chiefs. Because, you know, the thing about Andy Reid, even going back to the Philadelphia days, if there's a star receiver, they will get all the opportunities to do what they do on that team. Right. You got a proven quarterback who's going to throw the ball and light that field up. Odell, and it's not just always just a one receiver either. I mean, you got tight ends and receivers that he'll spread that out to. He'll spread the ball to running backs if he can, fullbacks too. Like, how many games have we seen? I think I can't remember what the stat was, but if I'm not mistaken, like there was multiple games where they had like 6 or 7 people with receptions on the team and like significant yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one thing where they're going to make sure that people get that ball. So if I'm Odell, I'd probably go with the Chiefs just because you know the reputation.
I feel you on that. And, you know, it's just a given, just being on that team. It's going to be a very productive offense. But on the other end, him joining the Buffalo Bills, I would think also would make great sense because that team is pissed from last year. And it's one thing to be on the team that's like, you know what, we have something to prove because we should have been in a position where the Chiefs were last year and winning that AFC divisional game against the Chiefs. They feel like they should have been the Bengals and gotten to the Super Bowl. This team is on a mission, and I feel like, you know, he can't go wrong with any team if he chooses either or. Miss Williams says that reminds her of Joe Montana. You never knew who he was going to throw to.
Joe Montana? You're speaking my language.
I was going to say Kurt Warner. Shoot, the greatest show on turf days, you know. He has so many weapons. It's like, shoot, whoever's open, which a lot of people were open, okay, here you go. Boom, there you go.
But and you know, the other thing about Buffalo too is now they put themselves in a pretty good position because what are they, 5-1 right now?
Yeah, 5-1.
And they knocked out. They gave the Chiefs, what's that? The Chiefs' second or third loss? Second loss, I think.
The Chiefs are 4-2.
Yeah, so they're 4-2 right now. So if you're Buffalo, you better be in game mode for the rest of the season because right now they're already ahead of Kansas City. If the AFC Championship game were to go down, it'd be going down in Buffalo if it was between the two of them right now. So
now check this out. Because Buffalo won the AFC East last year, they have one of the hardest schedules because the schedule makers do it in which you play like the top seed from each conference for the next year. Mm-hmm. So check this out. They play the Packers up next. And then they play the Jets. The Jets are 4-2. So that team cannot be slept on.
Well, they're going to play the Jets regardless.
Right now, I'm just talking about just in regards to competition. The Vikings, they have the Browns. By that time, I believe, what's the name? Maybe back to Deshaun Watson. Let's see. They have the Patriots. They have the Dolphins again. They have the Bengals. And in the season, they have the Patriots. So, their season's going to be pretty interesting to see how they do against other good teams.
Yeah, but didn't they win the division the year before though?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. They have a first place schedule.
Well, what I'm saying is not last year, but the year before that, didn't they win that division then?
No,
it had to be them.
No,
it couldn't have been the Patriots.
Let me see.
It had to be Buffalo, so they would have had a first place schedule last year too.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Buffalo Bills. Let me see. 2021. No, 2020. Let's see. Looking right now, and yep, you're right. 2020-21 season, they had the first place schedule. Yep.
Yeah, because once Brady left, like I said, that opened up the division to everybody.
So, right.
Oh, listen to me. I sound like I'm back in St. Louis. That everybody, it came out. I can't help it.
Welcome back officially now. It is official. T-Bone is officially back in the loop. He got the everybody in the club. No. Yep. So yeah, man. So week 6 has been very exciting. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But we're going to go ahead and get right into the NBA. Last night we had opening night. It was Boston Celtics playing host to the Philadelphia 76ers. In the second game, the nightcap, snooze fest, Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. I know my wife may be watching right now. She's excited because Golden State did their thing.
Of course.
But let's talk about the first game, Boston and Philadelphia. I wanted to see how Philadelphia would be this year. I know it's game 1, but I'm just not confident that this 76ers team can go all the way. And one of the reasons why, I think Charles Barkley and Shaq said this last night on TNT, but it's like they're just they hold the ball too long and don't pass the ball enough and work faster with and without the ball. And we're looking at a time where you can't just be stalling and holding the ball too long because teams are just too quick now to defend that better. You can't have this ISO, whatever it is, and expect to go all the way and win.
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't get a chance to see the game, but what you just said makes total sense. A lot of guys it just seems like a lot of guys now are a lot quicker. Like, again, one of the things with Philly, it seems like if you're holding the ball, that means that, one, you're not getting enough shots in to run that score up at the end of the day. And that's going to be detrimental, especially if you get into facing teams like Golden State, who's going to put up a lot of points on you. So,
right.
Yeah.
And then on the other end, as Ms. Williams brought up, Jason Tatum, he had a great night. Every year, as the broadcasters announced last night, he gets stronger and stronger. He works on whatever he needs to improve on in regards to his game, and he's just doing his thing. And he had like 30-some points last night. I think he had 39 or 35, something like that. Jaylen Brown had 35 points as well. Just a nice, well-rounded game, especially going from the adversity of having your head coach be involved in a scandal. And they came up, and I know it's game 1, but the Celtics are reminding everyone why they went to the NBA Finals. And I know we have our predictions very soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. The second game, the ring ceremony for the Golden State Warriors. And the first half, it was pretty decent. Lakers stayed into it, but then the second half, it was like a reality hit. And just flat out, man, it was hard to watch that second half because the Lakers look like they just didn't have any hope at all. They don't have. I thought they would have had, but this is preseason. But of course, when it's the real thing, it's different. But they just don't have no outside shooting. And if you've seen LeBron James led teams that won championships, they had at least 2 or 3 guys in which if LeBron's going to the hole, he'll find someone wide open and they will make the shot, not shoot it and miss. They will actually make the shot. Right now, the Lakers don't have that on that team at this moment. And that's going to be a problem. They'll win some games, but if you expect this team, how it's constructed right now, if you expect this team to go far, it's not going to happen because they need better support, especially around the perimeter.
They need a better GM or player GM. That's what they need.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I know you and everyone on social media feels that LeBron is the end all be all GM. My thing is, okay, last year, before they signed Russell Westbrook, they had an opportunity to maybe get Buddy Hield or get DeMar DeRozan. Do you really think LeBron James told them, no, don't get them, get Russell Westbrook?
What do I think?
Yes. Okay, well, no. I already know what you're going to say. But because of how you feel, and shouts out to one of our Man Cave Zone, Sadal, says, what's up, fellas? What's up with you, man?
What up?
But do you really think with the IQ that LeBron has, that he would turn down the opportunity himself to get DeRozan or to get a Buddy Hield instead and get Russell Westbrook?
Let me ask this question. Or let me ask a question back to you. Perception-wise, do you think that LeBron has a preference for playing with people that he's comfortable with, who he has relationship with, who he's friends with? So like in the case of Russell Westbrook or Carmelo Anthony, he has relationships with those guys. He's friendly with those guys. And they've been in the league, years like he has. I would think that he's that type of guy that wants to play with the people that he's comfortable with, not necessarily the people who are the best players, because in his mind, I think that he thinks that he can work with anybody. Not with anybody, with people that he is comfortable with.
So I would say, yeah, because of what you just said, he feels that if you be with us, we can make it happen. But at the same token, he also has a smart basketball IQ. And he knows that DeMar DeRozan can bring more to the table than Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony. He knows that he knew at that time that the Lakers did not have outside shooting, especially when they got rid of Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They got rid of
but you don't think that he thought that Westbrook could fill that void?
No, I don't know. Not at all. I don't feel that he was that, we get him, we over the hump. No, I do not believe that he thought that. I believe that was a move that was done by Pelinka, who is the GM of the team, the actual GM. They turned down, or they were close per DeMar DeRozan. They were close to getting him, and DeRozan was stunned that they changed their mind and went to Westbrook. So then the Lakers traded KCP and I just had his name in my head, Kyle Kuzma, a guy who's already a scorer, who shoots a better 3-point percentage, him and KCP, for Russell Westbrook. LeBron would not have agreed on that.
I don't know. Again, sometimes I think the judgment of who you're comfortable with can override the IQ of what's in the best interest of the team. And my perception of LeBron is he wants to be where he's comfortable, and he wants to be surrounded by people he's comfortable with.
Does LeBron look comfortable now?
Oh, hey! It's his bed. He put those thorns in his bed. Nobody else put those thorns in his bed.
Man, I'm not gonna say he said, you know what, we don't need DeMar DeRozan. Let's bring in. No, I'm not gonna say that. You know.
So you think that management? So let's just think about this for a second. Between the front office and LeBron, because we both acknowledge that LeBron has influence, right? I'm not saying he's got final decision,
right?
We both acknowledge he's got influence. You're telling me that the Lakers, this isn't the Cardinals, like y'all like to talk about. The Cardinals don't want to go after the big name people. We
put a pin there,
huh?
Put a pin there, because I got a point I want to make too. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying we're talking about the Lakers, who are known to spend money if they have the opportunity to do so. If they have the opportunity to bring the flashy pick, Dwight Howard, Shaq, numerous names over the years. You mean to tell me that if they had the opportunity to get these players, if it was their first choice and it was only about front office, you mean to tell me front office would not want to make that deal?
Yeah, they would have made that deal. But the reason, but the question is, why didn't they? And I don't believe that LeBron said, I don't want DeMar DeRozan, I don't want Buddy Hield, I don't want, whatever anymore. And for instance, like KCP, he's in the same agency as LeBron James. Those two guys are close. So, LeBron James helped him get an extension while he was in LA, during a time when they won a championship. So I don't believe that LeBron said, no, get rid of this and that and bring in Russell Westbrook. That's what I'm saying.
I can't wait till Vice TV airs the dark side of the NBA.
Vice TV.
The dark side of the NBA. The Lakers 2022. No, and let's see exactly how all this went down.
I don't believe it. I feel yes, of course, they want his input, in regards to LeBron. But I don't feel like he would have said, yeah, let's get Russell Westbrook over DeMar DeRozan or a possible chance of getting Buddy Hield. Like even this offseason, when Rob Pelinka was re-signed to an extension, he said, we're going to do what we can do. We're going to do what's best to make sure that LeBron James has, the right teammates around him. Then why in the hell did y'all not trade Russell Westbrook to get a Buddy Hield and Miles Turner from the Pacers, a big man who can score and defend, and a shooter, a guy who can score from the perimeter? That's not LeBron saying don't make that move. That's the front office being shot because they were scared of losing picks, because you had to do that to trade Russell Westbrook to get those two guys. So I don't feel like LeBron was like, no, don't do it. You can make it happen with Russell Westbrook. It's all good. I'm the king.
All right, well then, wait a minute. Okay, so if it's about the picks, though, is that necessarily a bad strategy? Because, I mean, if you're the Lakers, like, you got LeBron James. Mm-hmm. Now, this goes back to the business side of things. You got LeBron James. You're going to be able to sell tickets at premium prices. Yes?
True.
Okay, so if you got LeBron James, you can sell tickets at premium prices, and then you keep your picks, then you can use those picks to help build up for whenever he inevitably leaves, because he's going to leave. So,
you sure? I was playing.
I'm just, well, I mean, one way or another, right? How many more years is he going to play versus, how many more years is he going to play well? Like, right. They know how that's going to work. So I'd keep the picks too if it came down to that.
I don't see it happening. I have a feeling by Christmas break, Russell Westbrook would not be on this team anymore.
But the deals just might be better for him though. Because once you get to Christmas time, then you got teams who are like really wanting him, or maybe he could help another team in a certain way or something like that. So it might be more beneficial. You might have another team that feels like they're one more piece away, and he might be that piece. He could have a productive enough first half to where, they could dangle that carrot out and get something better for them in the long run.
And going back to what you brought up about the Cardinals front office, I can see a lot of similarities with the Cardinals front office and the Lakers front office. It's like LeBron and AD. It's like Goldie and Arenado. But then you're trying to get these other pieces in which you hope that these guys would be complementary pieces to put them over the hump. But the Lakers don't do enough to bring in the right piece to go over the hump. That's the same problem the Cardinals are having, in which you have Goldie and Arenado, and then you think that you sign this guy here and that guy there, that these are pieces that's going to help this team get over the hump, but it's just not enough. They are not making that bold enough move. And the Lakers, and once again, we'll talk about this real quick in our predictions very soon, but the Lakers at this time are not making enough bold moves to put themselves in the top tier to be contenders at this moment.
Now, wait a minute. Now, okay. You realize we're talking about the Lakers. We're not talking about the Sacramento Kings.
I know.
We're not talking about the Orlando Magic.
I know.
We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yes.
Who has been known over the years to sign the big. They don't have the troubles that like the Magic had, where it's like, oh, it's a small market. Who wants to go play there? La 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 la. We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, the team, the biggest market. Hollywood's right there. All the opportunities, all eyes on them. I don't buy that. Oh, okay, so wait a minute. Let me ask you a question. When did this trend change where the Lakers didn't want to make the big move? When would that have been the case?
The last big move would have been getting AD. That was the last big move, and that was what, 3-4 years ago now.
So what changed?
Other teams are starting to get better, so now they don't see LA as that destination which they have to go to anymore, because you have small market teams like Milwaukee, like Memphis Grizzlies, that's actually improving and doing better. So there's not that want to go to LA like it was when LeBron and AD first came to LA. The whole market has changed now. The whole league has changed now.
I see. I can't buy that, because you telling me that now all of a sudden the mentality of the players is, oh, well, I don't mind being in the small market if I can play with these other teams. But so what you're telling me then is that LeBron James of himself is not enough to attract players like he would have been 5 years ago?
Not anymore.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna argue with you there.
I'm just keeping it real. And then they see how AD is. He's not that. He can't be dependable to play for a season. So why would high price free agents? Now, word is during the off season that Kyrie may want to go there, but that's Kyrie. But you're not seeing other guys say, "Ooh, I want to go," because, like I said, you're seeing other teams, other markets. You got people wanting to go to Phoenix now because of what the Suns are building. Or Dallas Mavericks because of what they're doing with Luka. You got and the Nuggets. You have these other teams now that's doing the damn thing. So it's like LA doesn't have that same lure. Like, oh my God, here we go. And then Sadal, you also have the Clippers. Teams want to play for the Clippers. Players want to play for the Clippers because they're seeing how the organization is being ran.
But that to me, it can't just be about how the organizations ran, because if the players felt like they had a shot of being contenders, again, how many players out there would probably be talking amongst themselves like, hey man, this is what I'm thinking about doing. I'm thinking about, almost like how LeBron did when they went to Miami. Like, I don't see how people wouldn't want to go to LA in that same type thing where they make the deals themselves or something like that. I can't believe that there's no players that want to go to Los Angeles.
Now, I ain't saying that they don't, but it's not as important as it used to be. Like for now, you can actually ask players now What team would you rather be on? Would you rather be on the Milwaukee Bucks and join Giannis, or the Grizzlies and join John Morant, or play with the Lakers? These guys may be like, damn, that's a great question now, because Milwaukee and Memphis, they're smaller markets, but the Bucks just won 2 years ago, and they are right in the mix. The Grizzlies took the Warriors to a 6-game series. They are right on the cusp, while the Lakers are like, what the hell is going on out there? LeBron's getting, he's almost 80 years old, and Anthony Davis can't stay on the court. So it's like, but there's no promise in a championship with the Lakers compared to going to Milwaukee, or going to Memphis, or going to Philadelphia, or going to Dallas. Like, you got these players that may be like, you know what, I may be that piece that Luka needs, and boom, there we go. Or same thing with Giannis, or same thing with Chris Paul.
But do you think that there might be an issue? Because I brought this up years ago, back when we were talking about LeBron potentially going to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that there may be also an issue of players not wanting to necessarily play with LeBron?
Now, mind you, when we had this talk, that was like 3-4 years ago, when LeBron wasn't, hurt after 50 games of the season, and he was out for the rest of the year. So, age does matter. Father time does matter. You know what I'm saying? So that time we had that talk, he was still playing almost a whole season, unless he had a few rest days, but he wasn't like he was out injured for the rest of the season. So during that time, that was different. Plus, he took a Cleveland Cavaliers team, and you saw how that team was outside of Caleb and Kyrie. You had whatever guys, not saying they were scrubs, but they had whatever guys, and he still went to the finals. So during that time, hell yeah, guys want to be with LeBron, because they knew he can get them to the finals when he's on the East.
See, my argument back then was you'd have people who didn't want to play with him because of how, a lot of players are interested in their brands. And if you're in that,
that's more of a personal pride ego thing.
Well, I'm just talking about as far as brand exposure, and even think about endorsements and stuff like that. If you're in LA with LeBron, and you're trying to get your name out there, you're trying to build up your endorsements. If you're playing on the same team with LeBron, those endorsements are going to him first. You pretty much getting the leftovers. So I think that may have something to do with it too. Let's see. Sadal says the players may not have the same kind of big city pressure in mid-market teams. I mean, that's true. That's always true though. But the players who think that they're the best, we're talking about the top free agents out there. I don't think that that's necessarily a thing. I think that those are the people who will want to come out there.
It still goes back to just looking at hindsight. You're seeing the older LeBron, you're seeing AD who can't stay healthy. Players look at that.
True.
And that's all I'm saying. Players look at that, and then they see the excitement that's building in Phoenix, that's building in Dallas, that's building in Milwaukee, or have already been built in Milwaukee, that's building in Memphis. Hell, even LeBron's old team, the Cavaliers, that team was looking scary.
They were right off at the borderline of the playoffs last year, right? They got kicked out in the
play-in.
Yeah.
The Timberwolves, that team could take a huge step. So these players are looking to see how these organizations are coming up, and they're like, wait a minute, if I add myself to that, and they're young too, I might sign me a nice long-term deal and stay, and we can make some noise. It's the whole parity of a lot of teams that's coming up. I could just be one crucial player away from being a championship team. I don't think right now players are saying the same thing if they join the Lakers.
Do you feel like LeBron's contract may also be a hindrance too?
Oh, man. And that's a good question, because I brought this up a while back, and I believe you and Bunny said, no, LeBron, get your money. But I kind of felt like, LeBron is already a billionaire, so why sign a max deal? Allow the organization to bring in other pieces. So it could be a hindrance, but then yet they just signed AD, as well to an extension too. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. It is, but I don't feel they are hamstrung. They can make moves, and they could have, but they're thinking about the future, like you said, in regards to potentially trading a pick, to make a move. Sadal says in the social media age, players are not as dependent on where they play to build their brands.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that, which is why I said that it might not be in their best interest to play with LeBron, because if they're playing, so they could play in another place and have the money that's going to go in that direction versus being you're basically in the cloud of LeBron wherever you are, because he's the face of the league and going to be the face of the league until he's gone.
So, with that being said, even LeBron, he doesn't want to have to be the guy to score the most points per team, per game on the team. He wants to give the torch to somebody else like AD, but it's AD who's not being available to keep the torch. So he wants to fall back a little bit and do less, because that's how I feel about the Lakers. The less that LeBron does, the better the team going to be, because he doesn't have to be that guy. But because he has to be that guy still, that's going to be a problem. So I just truly believe that LeBron is going to be on some, hey, I played 20 years in the league. I did my thing. I don't have nothing else to prove, but, just get this scoring title, the all-time scoring record. But he wants someone else to be on a team to take over the mantle of being that guy. So, if players are thinking that they can't be that guy, then they're wrong. Because LeBron is one of the most unselfish guys in basketball, but people don't see that because they see his numbers and whatever. But if you don't have no one else who can do what who can step up to the plate,
that may be the case. But if I'm a player, when it comes to LeBron, if I'm a player, it's not even about LeBron. I mean, I know I give a lot of complaints about LeBron, and really a lot of the complaints that I have about him, it's not even about him. It's about how the perception of him and how the media treats him, right? So I go back and I look at that Cleveland Cavaliers team, the last year he was there, where everybody was like, oh, it was LeBron. He dragged that whole team to the playoffs by himself. Like, wait a minute. At some point, it wasn't just him on the team. But like the last year, it's like, oh, LeBron won the championship. Look what LeBron did. And you didn't hear nobody else's name on that team. And the next year when they lost, it's like, oh, they dragged him down, a bunch of bums, and LeBron did everything he could. And like, if I'm a player, I would not want to be around that type of circus, because if you win, you're not getting any credit. If you lose, it's everybody else's fault but LeBron. And I'm not saying that he's the one saying it. I'm just saying that that's how it's going to be perceived out there in the media. And why would you want your brand associated with being the leader or the loser or the lackey? You don't want to be the loser or the lackey. You want to be that guy or a part of the team that's doing it. So,
and my issue with that is what happened to the embrace the challenge mode mentality. That's the problem with this generation, is that people don't want to embrace because they're worried about having their feelings hurt because you're playing with someone else. That should make you want to be like, you know what? Let's go. I'm taking in all dollars, whatever. That mentality has gotten weaker and weaker, lesser and lesser, whatever.
Because I don't think that they're looking at basketball exclusively, right? If you're talking about the 90s, I think more guys who were playing in the 90s and the 80s and beyond before that, they were worried about the game itself. But now the game has expanded beyond the court. The game is, how can I get my followers up? How can I build my brand outside of this? How can I build my portfolio? LeBron's a billionaire. I want to be a billionaire, right? Like, if I'm another player, I want to be able to find a way to build my stock up like this guy built his stock up. And if I'm a player, I think most players kind of realize, like, if you want to build your brand up, just think about a middle schooler, right? So take away like people who are looking deep into this. Look at a middle schooler. That's who you're selling your shoes to, right? Middle schoolers, high schoolers, early college kids, that 18 to 49. Like, most people who are going to look at this, especially when you're talking about casual fans, they're not going to be looking at how well you did. It's how are you perceived? What is the narrative about you? And if the narrative is going to be out of your control in that situation, that's not a good situation to put yourself in. You put yourself in the best position to succeed inside the court and off.
So has AD stock been hurt since joining LeBron?
Well, I mean, everybody highlights how he's injured and how it's his fault that the Lakers are not doing what they're supposed to do.
So is that LeBron's fault though?
That's not. It's not LeBron's fault. But if he were not on the team, it's not, because I think this is what happens with AD. This is my perception. When I hear AD, it's always in the context of, man, this dude's always hurt. LeBron can't get to the finals because this dude is this. I'm not saying LeBron's doing it, but it's hurting the aura, the legacy of LeBron James, because this guy who's supposed to be the number 2, potentially number 1 guy on the team isn't holding up his end of the bargain. If that was AD, if AD was on the Warriors, we wouldn't be talking about him the same way.
And see, that's the problem with social media, is that they are allowing people that have the kind of mentality as if LeBron's aura is affected. He's already done it all. He had nothing else to prove. You know what I'm saying? That's the point I was making earlier. He has nothing left to prove. When he came out to Cleveland and won, that was it. Then he went to LA and he won with AD. You know what I'm saying? He won. So there's no reason for people to have this narrative, but because that's how they are, that's how social media is. They want to bring that narrative of, if it's hurting his aura. No, it is not. LeBron has already done enough. He can leave right now, and nothing has been damaged, tarnished, anything. You know,
right? But with LeBron, so, like, you know, what's one thing that LeBron does not have right now, as far as when we're talking about great players? LeBron right now is in what, 3rd place between, like, if you're looking at Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan, LeBron is in 3rd place when it comes to championships right now, right? He's got 4.
Mm-hmm. No, LeBron has, you know, you're right, 4.
Yeah, he's got 4 right now, because he got 2 in Miami, 1 in Cleveland, 1 in LA. So he's got 4. Kobe got 5.
Right.
And Jordan's got 6.
Right.
So if you're LeBron and you're the media, again, when I say media, I'm talking guys like Stephen A. Smith media, right? If you're looking at LeBron, the next thing LeBron has to do to be able to validate being the best of all time is you got to at least tie Jordan with championships, right?
But the whole thing with that is LeBron was also hurt these last 2 years too, along with AD.
I know, but nobody really talks about that.
That's the problem.
Right.
That's the problem, though. So that doesn't have an effect on his aura, like, oh, he's not as great. No, he's still incredible, great, whatever. That's not going to change nothing.
I just think that when people look at, like, these last few seasons, they don't look at, you know, what LeBron did or didn't do to contribute to the team winning or not. It's, man, AD is always hurt. This dude's always hurt. Or last year, it's the old age outlaws out there trying to compete. You know, the old school guys coming out here.
And now think about it. I mean, AD was known for this before he even joined the Lakers. It just got that much bigger because, like you said, him, you know, going to the Lakers and going to, you know, playing with LeBron. But he's been known, you know what I'm saying, for being hurt. So it ain't like it just happened all of a sudden.
Right. But so think about Derrick Rose, right? Back when Derrick Rose with the Bulls, when he got hurt, nobody was looking at him like, oh man, you're the worst because you're the hurt. I mean, maybe some diehard Bulls fans, but, like, people felt bad for him, right? People were like, man, this guy can't catch a break. AD gets hurt, man, you're letting LeBron down. That's the type of stuff that I'm just saying where the differences come in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I feel you on that. Miss Williams says you have to look at the teams LeBron and Jordan had around them. I think there's a difference there aside from the talent.
I mean, that's true. Although LeBron's his own GM, so what can I say? I mean, put the team.
All right, so let's get right into our predictions. It's been a great topic so far. Well, great conversation so far. Now, NBA predictions. Sadal, what we're gonna do is we're gonna first start off with our league MVP. Who do you have as the league MVP?
Oh,
and I'm sorry, T-Bone.
I thought no, you patched him in.
My bad, T-Bone.
I thought you patched him in the background. I don't know if this is gonna work out the way I think it is. Okay, I'm gonna tell you who I think it's gonna be, and I'll tell you who I'd like to see kind of give a bounce back season. I don't know if it's gonna work that way. I mean, if I had guessed, I'm gonna say Steph Curry is gonna wind up being the MVP. Okay. But who I'd like to see, kind of step back up and be that guy again, I'd like to see Kawhi Leonard step up and be that guy he was when he was with the Spurs.
Okay, good one. So I've been thinking about this since Monday. I'm torn on this. And yeah, Sadal, you're right. My bad, bro. My bad. I mean, if you want to get passed in, if you want to join us, let me know. I'll send you the link. We got you, bro. We got you.
Him in. Bring him in, coach.
Let me know, Sadal. I got you. But in regards to MVP, this is a tough decision because the last 2 years has been Jokic. Joel Embiid has been right there. After last night, I know it's game 1. But I'm going with the homer pick, and I have Jason Tatum winning the MVP. This dude's game has evolved once again. Every year he always adds a different facet to his game. Him losing in the finals, I think, brought an extra fire and spark, and I feel that's going to make him be on a whole different level this year. He has probably the kind of game that you just love to have, all around game. He can defend guards, bigs. He can go inside. He can shoot from the outside. He's just that dude. So I'm going to go ahead and say Jason Tatum will be the MVP.
Hey, look, it'll be good for St. Louis.
Right. And I want to say he'll be the first St. Louis born player, to win MVP, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I think he'll be the first one to ever win. So let's go ahead and talk about who's going to represent the East and the West in the NBA Finals. So T-Bone, you have on your screen right now the divisions and all the teams. Who do you have coming out from the East?
From the East in the Finals. As much as I'd like to say Boston, because of what we just talked about, nice St. Louis connection there. I'm going to say that this year they get it together, they figure it out. There's no situations like they had last year. I'm going to say that the Nets come out of the East.
Man, dude, I want to say them so bad. But I feel like they are the same as the Dallas Cowboys. An accident waiting to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A great collection of guys that should do big things, but then something is going to affect that team. Whether there's going to be injuries or it's going to be, just some kind of other kind of issue that's going to affect the team. I just cannot pull myself to say the Nets. I wanted to say the 76ers, but then last night I kind of got like a reality check. Like, I don't know if this team can just get over the hump. So I'm going to go ahead and say the Celtics will come back and be in the Eastern Conference. Will be in the finals representing the Eastern Conference. So, who do you have on the West Coast?
Well, of course, I have the Golden State Warriors.
Mm.
I mean, look, there's no other team that I'm just going to say is better than them. I mean, they've proven their worth. Again, you got pretty much the same team back this year as it was last year. Like, no, they're going right back to back.
And I and my wife probably watching. It's hard for me to say this, but I agree with you. Golden State is going to go back to the finals. I don't see any team that can beat them in a 7-game series. This team here, they reloaded. They got rid of a few guys from last year's team, but they reloaded, they restocked, they brought it, they brought back because he was out all last year. They brought back James Wiseman. He's 21 years old. I told my wife about him the other day. He's a 7-foot big man. He kind of reminds me of like a Chris Bosh type guy, but he's bigger and stronger. He's a force, and he's gonna do some damage. You have Kuminga, Jordan Poole. They have youngsters who are hungry, who's ready, who have won already. That team, and of course, Steph Curry and Clay and Draymond, but that team there, they are a well-oiled machine. They don't need no WD-40. They good to go, man. I can't see a team right now beating them in a 7-game series.
Hey,
so
that's the definition of a team. They fight together, they play together. They gonna do it all.
I think that may be on a highlight reel tape. Yeah, I have Golden State, man. I just have to go ahead and say Golden State is going to the finals. So you have the Brooklyn Nets versus Golden State. Who do you have going all the way?
Oh, I'm still taking Golden State. I'm saying that it's going to be theirs to lose until they lose somebody significant off that team. It's theirs to lose.
And I have Golden State beating the Celtics. Once again, I just can't see a team beating Golden State in the 7-game series. And barring any injury, I know Golden State fans, I'm knocking on wood right now, but barring injury, I just cannot see this team losing a 7-game series at all. Yeah. But it should be a great NBA season. I'm looking forward to, everything. Zion, he's playing right now with the Pelicans. They're beating the Nets 66-56 right now in Brooklyn. I believe who else is playing right now? Memphis Grizzlies. They're up against the Knicks right now. Just a whole slew of games are in effect. But I will say I would not be surprised if that other team in LA goes all the way as well, the Clippers. I like that team. If Kawhi is healthy all year long and Paul George, that team could be dangerous. I look forward to seeing John Wall playing a full season. He ain't played a season in 2 years, I believe. So he's ready. And like he was hurt. He just got held back from the Rockets last year. So I look at that team being dangerous as well. But in regards to
come together.
Yeah. But in regards to the Lakers, unless a move is made, I just cannot see them going far. And the reason why I say that, because you look at the screen again, you got the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, Dame Lillard. He was out last year. He's back. The Clippers once again, the Suns, the Kings can be very much improved. The Pelicans, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks. You got all those teams before I even say the Lakers. Yep. So these teams are coming. They ready. They are ready to roll. And speaking of ready to roll, as we get into some NFL talk, Week 6 takeaways. T-Bone, your fellow schoolmate, he's ready.
There he is.
Welcome to Wednesday Night is Sadal.
What's going on, Richard Sadal, man? How you
Me?
doing? It's me. It's me.
What's
How you
up,
doing,
fellas?
man?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just, cooking lunch for the rest of the week, and I just had y'all on. I'm like, hey, why not?
Fellow Normandy Viking out there, for those of y'all who didn't know.
Hey, Viking strong, man.
Hey, there it is.
There it is. Hey, and by the way, thank y'all for coming out to the spot, a few weeks back to watch Monday Night Football, the Rams and 49ers. 49ers won that game, of course.
Great game.
I wonder why you say that. But no, great time, hanging out with y'all. After y'all left, there's a whole other story. I gotta tell y'all after the show.
I tell you what, they had some heated conversations.
Oh yeah, definitely was some great conversations. I mean, same thing like in the man cave chat. It just be some nice lit heated conversations.
Sometimes we get in arguments and stuff, especially over certain two teams. You got to understand, we've been doing this for 2 decades. Almost 3.
Yeah.
So you gotta understand, hey, it's all love at the end of the day, man.
All love, man. And I believe that's what you was saying when we first had T-Bone on. You was like, yeah, man, this guy, you always get into it.
Sometimes I don't even want to bring it up. Like, you know what? I ain't gonna talk about it. No, I ain't gonna talk about it. Especially during the rough years. Oh God.
I mean, look, when I first met him, he was running around in the Emmitt Smith jersey. So
no, I gotta correct you. It was not Emmitt Smith, it was Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders at the time was my favorite player.
All right, well, let me
I really didn't care about the team too much. I just really cared about Deion Sanders.
All right, let me tell you why that's the problem. One, as a 49ers fan, you wearing Cowboy stuff, that's strike one. 2, at the time, you wearing Deion Sanders stuff after he left the 49ers to go to the Cowboys. Strike 2. But look, when the Rams won that Super Bowl, that was strike 3 because they had to beat the 49ers to get there. So,
no, it was sweet revenge. You got that twisted, man. Because when the Rams first got to St. Louis, I was a Rams fan, and I used to get laughed at. You're a Rams fan? They'll never win anything. Why are you a Rams fan? And sure enough, in 1999, of course, you stood your ground, T-Bone. But everybody else, all of a sudden, became Rams fans. All of a sudden, they just jumped on the bandwagon. And I like to say, I've been driving the bandwagon this whole time.
Yeah,
I drove them all the way to LA too.
I was more like Jerome Bettis. I saw what they had to do, and I took my bus elsewhere.
Yeah, whatever, man. You took them right. You took them right to the land of the losing.
Speaking of like Emmett and the Cowboys, I believe it was like one of them years that Emmett was still playing and Michael Irvin when they came to St. Louis. Was that right?
Should have been. I mean,
I don't remember that.
They would have had to play him at one point during that time.
Yeah.
It probably, if it was, it had to be 97 or 98.
Yeah. I got double check on that.
They didn't leave until like 2000.
Well, no, because Michael Irvin retired at the end of the 98 season.
Oh, well.
Because he got a neck injury.
Well, yeah. And then Emmitt Smith
or it could have been 99, but I know it was,
And then Emmitt Smith was playing at the Cardinals by the time we got to college. So
yeah.
So let's continue on with this NFL talk. NFL Week 6 was a wrap this past Monday. Week 7 starts tomorrow. I believe we have, let me pull up here. Tomorrow night, we have, where the game's at here. Put it back up. Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, it is going to be, there we go. The internet's working. There we go. The Saints and the Cardinals to begin Week 7 for Thursday Night Football. But in regards to Week 6, start off with Deuce Sadal. What has been your takeaway from Week 6, or should I say the weeks leading up to Week 6?
And the Eagles could be that real deal, man.
I agree.
The Eagles, man, I honestly did not see the Eagles like as that team. I really didn't. I know they made the playoffs last year, but they didn't really show anything to me as far as being this good. But it's been one of those seasons because look at the Jets. The Jets go into Lambeau and not only beat the Packers, but beat them down, like physically. And then you have the Giants.
Right.
4-1. I mean, I can't even explain how the Giants are winning. I don't know because they have a no-name quarterback. But they're winning. I guess it's the new coach, Brian Daboll there. Bills. They're dominant, man. They're that team, man. We already knew about that. And as far as disappointments, you look at Russell Wilson.
Yes.
What is up with him, man? He's just not. I mean, he just wasn't. They built him to be this guy, the can't miss quarterback, the quarterback that they needed to put him over the hump. And between him and the new coach over there, they're just clueless. They just can't get it together.
And I feel like between Russell Westbrook and the head coach, Russell Wilson, should pretty much same thing right now. No, let me stop.
Right.
One is the head coach is I think what is his name, Big Man, something like that.
Hackett.
Yeah, you're right.
Hackett.
You're right. Yeah, the Daniel Hackett. There we go.
Yeah, Hackett. Yeah.
He's not putting Russell Wilson in positions to make plays. Russell Wilson is known to get out the pocket and make plays. Create and then boom, here we go. You're keeping him in the pocket. That's not him. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's more than that too. If you look at the success of Russell Wilson, he always thrived with a great running game and a solid to great defense.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that because it's damn Seahawks, but that's how they won. And Russell Wilson was just the guy that would fill in the gaps. You always had beast mode behind you, and they ran it. With this offense, the Broncos always had a good running game. But for some reason, Nathaniel Hackett comes in, he wants to run his offense, and his offense is just not jiving with Russell Wilson's style. He needs a running game, and they're just not running the ball, play action, things like that. They're just not running it for him. And then that's what then you see Russ trying to press, especially at the end of the game, and missing guys that's wide open and just overshooting the targets. It's just, I don't know. It's just he's just trying too much, and he just doesn't have it. It's just not clicking.
And in regards to their defense, they actually have a great defense.
Yeah, because the Broncos held their opponents to like under 20 points over the past few weeks, except for one game.
Right.
So it's not like the defense is soft at all. They have a solid defense. It's just that the offense is just not making plays for them.
Well, also remember what Russell Wilson is also 10 years older than he was when he first got in there. So
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everybody's not Tom Brady, okay, would you rather I say LeBron?
Yeah, LeBron.
20 years.
Bring up LeBron.
There you go.
Well, everybody's not. Everybody's style isn't built for that. Like Tom Brady's style, the way he's played since 2001, he's always been designed not to get touched. He's been able to just throw the ball at will. Russell Wilson, he's had to do a lot. I mean, that Seahawks offense wasn't wasn't just sit in the pocket and throw. It was, hey, you might need to run around sometimes. You might need to take some hits here and there, or you might need to run yourself and get that extra yard, and you're going to get hit when you get that yard. Like, some of that stuff may be taking a toll on him, and he's playing in a city where the climate might not, fit what he's used to either. So there might be an adjustment period that he needs to get through being in Denver.
Absolutely.
Yep. T-Bone, while the screen is on you, takeaways from week 6.
Week 6, the 49ers need to get it together. That's my takeaway from week 6.
Y'all lost to the Falcons, bro.
Gotta get it together. I mean, look, things ain't getting any easier because you know who we got this week? We got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dun dun dun.
And you know who we got after that? The Rams.
No.
So,
Now, you know what? I know I'm a big Rams fan, but I got to be real this year, man. We the Rams have been decimated on offensive line, man. We're not the same. The Rams are not the same team. The Rams are not the same team. Can't really expect too much out of the Rams this year because the offensive line is shot. We're literally getting people off the street to play offensive line. We just got a guy that played for the St. Louis Rams 10 years ago.
Hey. The 49ers are playing with a backup quarterback, okay? Playing with a backup quarterback.
You got Jimmy G. He led you all the way to the NFC Championship game.
Is he a backup quarterback?
Our backup quarterback is Wolford and Perkins.
The question. The question is are we playing with a backup quarterback?
No.
Was he the starter at the beginning of the season?
No.
Wait.
Then that makes him a back.
Wait.
How are you going to try to compare with a starter last year?
Right. How can you compare Jimmy G to Wolford?
All I'm saying is, look, I wasn't comparing. All I said was, look, we're playing with a backup quarterback. All right. No matter what you want to say.
You see what I deal with?
Who went to a Super Bowl?
You see this twisting of the narrative? You see this twisting? You know what I mean? I got to deal with this all the time.
Is it not?
We did in the chat.
Super Bowl.
We did this in the chat
3 years ago. Went to an NC game last year.
Fancy terminology and words.
Hey, to quote Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately?
Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, yeah.
As the word Eddie Murphy. F you 49ers. F you.
All right. Remember that.
What have you done for me lately?
So my takeaway, you brought up the Rams. Yes, the offensive line is not good at all at this moment, making it harder for Stafford. He already be Stafford, excuse me. He already be throwing interceptions for pick sixes, but it makes it that more of a chance for him to throw more because of the offensive line.
Oh my God, he threw one that was just like, oh, I was going mad crazy. We finally get on the board, get some points.
Like,
we you know how you have time with the lead. This dude throws a pass to Cooper Kupp. He got 5 guys on Cooper. He gonna throw it to. Like,
Right. Like
goal line.
you know how you have like that one player that be like, let me throw up first, and then I'll be good to go. I think that's the same thing with Stafford. He got the interception, a pick 6, and then all of a sudden he's good. All right, coach, I'm ready now. I'll do a pick 6. I'm ready now. Let's go. Game on.
But luckily we was playing the Panthers.
Right.
Well,
But like I said, I don't know. I don't think the Rams have it this year, man. But I still like to beat the 49ers though. That would be nice.
I don't think they have it either.
Some more look at you. Some more takeaways. Carson Wentz, in my eyes, is done. I'm through with him. Ever since he got hurt during that magical Eagles year when he led that team until the Rams injured him, he ain't been the same since. He went to Indianapolis last year, couldn't do the job. He with the Commanders. The head coach is dogging him out, and now he's hurt again for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Carson Wentz is a bust. He was a number 1 or number 2 pick that year with Jared Goff.
But how much does that have to suck if you're him?
Say what, T-Bone?
So how much does it have to suck if you're him? If you think about it, back when they went to the Super Bowl that year, he got hurt. What was it? Right before the playoffs started.
Right before the playoffs.
And then what's his face took them?
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles went. Not only took them past the first game, took them to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. If you're Carson Wentz, that's my Super Bowl. That's my only chance. I'm not getting another one. That was his only chance. And you know that there's plenty of players out there where it's like they got that small window where it's like, this is your time. And he got hurt by the Rams before the playoffs started.
But here's a little inside baseball that I did not know.
Baseball.
Inside. Well, it's the term.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were looking at that pitch that just happened. It was inside.
Little inside scoop. Not NBA inside stuff, but inside scoop.
Got you.
It was a former player. He was on one of the sports talk shows, and he had a little insight. Carson Wentz, he doesn't believe Carson Wentz really cares about the game that much. Because he is a avid hunter, I believe. He does, he goes out into the wilderness, hunts, things like that. And oftentimes he's going out hunting in the middle of the season. And he says, he kind of looks at it like this. He played with a lot of great quarterbacks. They were obsessed with the game. I mean, to the point where they were physically upset at the results when they lost. Carson Wentz, you don't really get much out of him. He's like, lost that one. A whole hum attitude. The whole hum attitude to the game. And, in the grand scheme, game is not everything. But if you're the starting quarterback for an NFL team, I would want my quarterback to really care.
So you know who else is a hunter? Deshaun Watson.
The views of Smoooth does not reflect the Platform Sports Talk Show or its sponsors. It does not reflect T-Bone Funk or T-Bone Funk Enterprises, nor Sadal the Selector.
T-Bone Funk Enterprises.
I ain't with you, big dog. I ain't going there.
Oh man. All right. So some other hot takes. Deshaun Jackson recently got signed with the Ravens. He's gonna join Lamar Jackson. And after him leaving the Rams after week 3 or something like that last year, a season that the Rams won the whole thing. I'm just lost it in regards to him. My whole confidence, whatever. I don't see him. He may play one game and do something incredible, but I just don't see him being that impact player that he used to be, which leads me to his teammate Lamar Jackson. People are hyping him up, saying he should get the max contract, he should get this, he should get that. To me, Lamar Jackson is just not that dude. I'm sorry, because it seemed like when it gets to, especially the playoffs, when teams are scouting him, certain teams scout him, and they take away the option for him to run loose, he does not know how to adjust his game in the clutch situations and make plays. To me, Lamar Jackson is not that dude. What are y'all thoughts on that?
I think Lamar Jackson is pressing. He is good. It's hard to say that he's that dude. But I don't think he's lost it or anything. I think the pressure is getting to him. You know, he tried to do the business move and decide to hold out for a training camp. That could be some hindrance to him. You know, he didn't have a training camp. And you know, people talking. You know, there's an area of a group of people that say, "Hey, pay the man. You know, he's earned it. Give him the money." There's the other side that's like, nah, we'll wait. We'll just hold off. I don't think he's that dude. I don't think he deserves that kind of money. And so you know, players can say they're not paying attention to social media, but it's hard to ignore. Hard to ignore those whispers and talks on social media. I think it's getting into him, and I think he's pressing a little, trying to do too much. Especially there was a play last week where he's playing the Giants, and he held the ball too long. He clearly just could have just threw it away, but he tried to turn the corner the other way and try to make a play where play wasn't there to be had, and he got sacked and fumbled.
Right.
And so that's just all pressing.
You know, I think that when you're talking about top tier quarterbacks, or not just top tier, starting quarterbacks, when you're talking about those guys, you're talking about really a game of musical chairs when you get to the end of the season, right? And if you're the Baltimore Ravens, it probably would have been in their best interest to go ahead and get him signed, because by not getting him signed, we've seen what happens to some teams when that happens. They wind up getting somebody they didn't want to get. They wind up getting somebody who's lesser than, and it winds up probably costing them about the same or more to get that lesser than guy than it would have cost them to sign the guy that they have right now. So, I mean, like, you know, guy's still developing, but we've seen what he can do. He's only going to get better in theory. But, you know, like, what happens if next year, okay, he leaves, let's say Seattle picks him up, and then let's say that the Ravens are out, or the Ravens are out there and they wind up with Geno Smith. Okay, that's working out right now for the Seahawks. But, I mean, do you really want to be stuck with Geno Smith over Lamar Jackson?
Hey, and listen, Lamar Jackson was the league MVP just a couple years ago. You know, it's not like he was a Carson Wentz where he could have been.
But that same year, he was out the first round too.
This is true.
But who'd they play in the first round? Was it
Tennessee?
I was going to say if it was the Chiefs, it's like anybody would have been out. But, I mean, look, people are going to get better. I think he's one of those guys, you put him in the right situation, he might get better. So I wouldn't want to risk, you know, not getting him and then wind up stuck with somebody else. Like I said, like a Geno Smith or somebody like that next year, a journeyman.
Let's see. Let me see. I want to check real quick. So he won the MVP in 2019. Let me check the 2019 playoffs. NFL playoffs. Let's see. what happened. I want to see who did they face that year.
Well, it wouldn't have been Kansas City because Kansas City probably would have had a bye, most likely.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the Chiefs won the whole thing, and let's see. Yep, they lost to the Titans 28-12. Yep. So even then, it was like, okay, you can run. So what? Can you throw? Can you make plays when it matters in the postseason?
He's got a hell of an arm.
Are you saying that he can run, but he can't hide when he's exposed to the light?
That's his problem. That's his issue. Not issue. That's his issue.
Well, I think he's just the type of person that does well with play action. There's different schemes and things. And Harbaugh, John Harbaugh is known to be set in his ways. He's not going to change for you. He's been running the same offense when it was Joe Flacco in there. He's not going to change it.
Say it again, T-Bone.
Said another Ravens quarterback to bet on himself.
Hey, he cashed in.
Right time.
He's no Sam Bradford, but
oh Lord, I am.
But hey, Sam Bradford, I don't care where he went. He was able to get that contract.
Man, hey, no, Sam Bradford had them pictures. He had them photos. he had them text. And he like
going around in the NFL right now.
Hey, he like Denzel, man. I got cases on all y'all.
Speaking of cases, I heard somebody got cases on all these owners.
Yeah,
right.
Now,
so they say he does.
So they say.
But Daniel Snyder sent out a letter to all the owners saying he did not do no personal investigation. No private investigation. He doesn't have no receipts. He ain't coming for everyone. He said all that were lies.
Well, wouldn't you say that if?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I can say that.
I mean, look.
Ooh, okay. Me?
No. I find it interesting that I didn't even see what it was about, but a few days after that happened, now all of a sudden you got Kraft and what's his face and Jerry Jones.
Oh man,
they had words.
I love it. I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's get it. Come on.
Hey, this looks like it sounds like a mob movie, man.
Right.
Jerry Jones, I thought I told you not to write. Send that stuff by text. What is wrong with you, Robert?
And then it all started with the investigation into they believe the emails that came out of the Washington football team's front office with Allen had all those emails correspondence with John Gruden, and that messed John Gruden up, ruined his NFL career. And I think that's when the snowball started. And Snyder was already getting investigated because of the sexual misconduct allegations of some of his former co-workers there. Then you have the name there where he vowed he is not going to ever change the name of the team, and eventually had to change the name of the team because he was going to lose money from sponsors. So that was out. I mean, and then it's just the rumors of him just not being a good person, just really being an a-hole, you know what I mean, so to speak. And so it's just not looking good. And then this past like a couple days ago, you had Bob Irsay of all people,
right?
Bob Irsay, who had his own problems, talking about, hey, I think he should just let it go. And he asked him if they have enough votes. He's like, yeah, I think they'll have enough votes to vote him out. Bob Irsay, dang, really? I mean, you give of all the people, you get him to say it. So I mean, It's just a mess, man. You know,
my mama.
where you get this stuff from? Anyway, I think in the coming weeks, man, it's gonna be really interesting to see it all play out because it didn't happen this past Tuesday, but eventually they're gonna have a vote, and they're gonna see. They're gonna see, and we're gonna see if there is some retaliation that happens in the wake of this man selling the team, because he's gonna have to sell the team. This is gonna happen. This is the writing's on the wall.
And to clarify for all the folks out there, I believe he was talking about Jim Irsay. Bob is his dad, who is no longer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim Irsay. I'm old school. I'm sorry.
I was like, let me clarify for the folks out there. I'm like, wait,
Bob Irsay is the guy that moved the team out in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Sorry.
Jim is the
God bless the dead.
We associate Jim with Peyton Manning and all that stuff. And he had some issues with like his issues weren't that bad. I mean, I think his was more like DUI.
Yeah.
Not that that's not bad. Don't do DUIs, by the way. Don't do that.
It was DUIs and things like that.
Yeah, we don't condone all that. But what we do condone is for you to continue to watch the Platform Sports Talk Show, your Wednesday night sports delight. I am your boy Smooth. And right over here we have
T-Bone.
And right down there we have
Sadal.
Representing from the Man Cave goes down next Wednesday. T-Bone, let them know where they can find us at.
Hey, look, most of y'all probably watching on YouTube right now. And if you are watching on YouTube, hey, please, we ask this every time, but go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. And when you hit that bell, you will be notified.
There you go.
When we go live. That's right. And make sure, hey, look, maybe y'all want to hear some guests on a couple of our shows. Maybe y'all want to hear somebody that's been inspirational to you in sports. Maybe someone who was a coach of yours or someone who you've always wanted to know more about. Send an email to platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. That's platformsportstalkshow@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show also. You can catch us on Roku. You want to see us on high def? Maybe see our faces in high definition on your big screen 75-inch TV. Go check us out there. Y'all may be listening to us in the car or listening to us at work. Hey, look. Hot 365 Radio. That's what it's there for. It's always hot. Hot365radio.com. You'll be able to see all the action from the Platform Sports Talk Show. And hey, look, next week. Next week. I know it seems like it right now, but it seems like a little mini man cave right now. But next week, we have the Man Cave featuring two of us on this show. Myself, Sadal. We are here giving divergent opinions every last Wednesday of the month. And hey, once we get past that week, then we always hit that reset button. The first Wednesday of the month, Ladies Night. And Smooth, go ahead and tell us that big announcement one more time.
Once again, Clayton High School's own Coach Brittany Willis is now the new panelist on Ladies Night.
Hey, so look. You've heard her a couple times. You've seen her a couple times. And now she is a regular here on the Platform Sports Talk Show Ladies Night. For the first Wednesday of the month, you'll be able to see her. Hey, reach out. Ask some questions. Hit us up on Twitter. And, send us some stuff out there. But, hey, we are out there. Make sure that you follow us on all the social medias out there because, look, we here for you. Be there for us. That's all we ask.
There it is. Leading to our last topic of the evening. T-Bone's top three. His top three wrestling storylines. T-Bone, what you got for us?
All right.
Number one.
All right. So look, if I had to talk about the top thing, I mean, there wasn't much advancement with the bloodline story, but look, what kicked off Monday Night Raw, you had Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley getting into a big brawl. I want to see that again. I'll look, take my money, Peacock. I'll see it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see those guys go at it again. Smooth, did you get a chance to see that?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it.
Right. It was chaos. It wasn't just like it didn't just look like you normally see. Oh, guys fighting. Somebody hits a finish and stands over the other guy. No, this was Bobby Lashley's already out there calling him out when the show starts. Brock comes out there. They get into a big fight. Brock takes advantage. Looks like he's going to F5 him out on the floor. Bobby Lashley reverses it, sends him through the barricade. All the referees and wrestlers come out there to separate him. Bobby Lashley breaks free, puts Brock through, sends him over the table, then puts him through the table. A lot of chaos. Good stuff. Let's see. Number two. Last night, I guess if you're talking about story, AEW had a story with MJF and William Regal, where they keep doing this thing where they keep trying to give MJF a backstory to be a villain. I think it's a little excessive to try to do that. But listen, even though I don't necessarily like the content, the delivery was great. It was excellent. 10 out of 10. So, I mean, look, you look at it and you believe what they're saying. And you know what? That's half the battle when it comes to wrestling. So, check out AEW last night and fast forward to the MJF and William Regal promo. It was good stuff. And then
question before you continue. Is CM Punk officially done with wrestling entertainment?
I don't know. I mean, you would think so. I mean, there's not many options to go to. The only place he could really do anything with would be New Japan or Mexico or AAA now. But I mean, who knows? Stuff could get resolved in AEW. Tony Khan right now could be trying to evaluate what's the best option. Everybody who is, key players in that is suspended right now. Who's to say he doesn't agree with what CM Punk said and isn't just trying to figure out a way to get him in a position and get those other guys out of there? He could be evaluating that right now. We don't know. I doubt it, but I mean, I don't think that he'd go back to WWE because he didn't particularly like Triple H. So, I mean, it's kind of a wait and see, but I'd lean towards he's most likely done as an in-ring competitor. But I mean, really, would you want if what he's saying from his side is true, I wouldn't have wanted to be in that situation either.
Gotcha. And number three,
last night, NXT and AEW went head to head. As far as ratings, a few more people watched AEW than watched NXT last night. But that was my first time watching NXT in a while. I didn't know a lot of the people on NXT except the main roster people who showed up last night because of the situation. But I might watch Halloween Havoc, their pay-per-view or premium live event this weekend, to check it out and see what's going on. There was a few interesting things on there. So, I want to give it more of a shot. And as far as AEW, things really did not go well or go the way that they planned. They had a big injury last night, a real injury for people who always ask that question, with Hangman Page. And, seems like he's okay. Seems like he escaped a neck injury. And while he may have a concussion, hopefully it's not a concussion that's going to linger and everything. And hope, best wishes to him. But I know that's not really how they planned on ending the night last night. He went down with injury, had to get stretched out.
So going back to the NXT, what are your thoughts? Because you kind of brought up a little bit. What are your thoughts in regards to how they brought people in from the main roster? You even had Shinsuke, who I ain't seen in a minute, show up last night. Then, of course, Rhea Ripley had her first match in God knows how long on NXT. So they've been bringing guys back, to NXT recently. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, mainly they mostly did it yesterday just because AEW had to be on Tuesday night because the St. Louis Blues are going to be on. No, I guess. Well, yeah, Dynamite comes on TBS. But anyway, they had to switch nights because of sports. So, I don't understand why they wouldn't do more of that now. Anyway, I mean, it doesn't have to just be because they're going against AEW. Like, utilize that show, build that show up, and build the interest in it. And the truth is, a lot of the people on there are new, like like trying to be in front of a television audience and live crowd for, the first time. They're, trying to develop, which isn't how it used to be, right? It used to be more like, okay, well, everybody there knows what they're doing. This is just a different version of wrestling compared to how Vince McMahon does, because they're doing a lot more in ring, just a different presentation. A lot of these people now are like just trying to learn how to really work in front of a crowd. And I think they should bring more people in there. And it shouldn't just be the exclusive, here's our NXT stories, here's our NXT matches. Like, have some of that main roster stuff kind of bleed over into NXT. Like, NXT could almost be like, if they could do it, and I don't know if they would, but if they could keep Raw and SmackDown kind of separate, but then you could use NXT as a place where, look, some people might kind of cross over into that, and you might wind up seeing some Raw and SmackDown guys face each other. Like, to me, there's nothing wrong with that, but that might not just be what they want to do. That maybe they want to get as many of the new people in there as possible so that they can, get them ready quicker. But I think that it'd be better if they're working with people who are, experienced, which is what they did in the old NXT when they first started doing it.
And my second question is, do you feel that Logan Paul's star will rise by the time he's done with this match with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia?
I think that he'll do fine. I mean, he's not going to win, but I think that I don't know if his star would rise, because I mean, how much higher is he going to get than facing the world champion, right? Like, he's a special attraction on his own just because of who he is and who the audience that he has. But I mean, I don't think anybody's going to take him any more or less seriously, because the people who have already seen him have already said, "Oh, this guy's doing pretty well. He's taking this seriously," compared to, like, other celebrities in the past where it seems like they're just out there just like, "Hey, look at me, I'm in the show." Like, you can tell that he actually took some time to work on some stuff and actually learn and wants to, try to do his best. So, I mean, I think he's where he's going to be at, but I don't think that where he's at is a bad spot. Except the fans. Fans don't like him. But here's the thing. I didn't know anything about Logan or Jake Paul really prior to this at all. Like, I'm not a guy who really surfs the internet looking for that type of content, whatever that is. So, I mean, like, obviously I knew about, like, oh, well, they had fights with, like, Mayweather and, stuff like that. But, like, as far as, like, what their content is outside of that stuff, I have no clue. So when people are like, how can he be cheered by the fans? How do they expect him to be cheered by the fans? He's a heel. I'm like, I don't know anything about this guy. So, I mean, he obviously is not liked by the fans, which that's probably a good thing, because the fans have to know who he is to not like him.
Sadal, any questions?
I don't. The only thing I have to ask or add is 28th, SmackDown is coming to St. Louis, and I'll be in the building. It's going to be very interesting because I have not watched any wrestling since WrestleMania. So, and that WrestleMania, I haven't watched wrestling in 3 years. So, yeah, I know, man. I just can't get into the new stuff, man. I'll try. But it's going to be interesting. Me and my brother's going to go down there and check it out, and I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah, I was going to go, but I have a gig that night, so I can't make it happen. So hopefully it's a good show. Normally shows that come to St. Louis be pretty special, so should be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send you a clip to watch of Sami Zayn and Smoooth. It's the clip where with the T-shirt. If I'm not trying to spoil the segment, but it's the clip with the T-shirt. I'm gonna send that to Sadal. I think that would be a good representation for him to understand all he needs to understand about this entire thing.
Okay, I'm scared.
No,
if it's corny or stupid, and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna be in for a long 3 hours.
Oh no. It's
No.
good. It's good. Yeah, you be like, okay, all right. I mean, because with Triple H and what he's done since he's taken over for Vince McMahon, it's been amazing. He's definitely been a breath of fresh air. And I know
My brother has been watching it on and off himself. You know, he's kind of been out of it a little bit too, but you know, he's followed it more than I have. And he did say it is getting a little better with Triple H involved. So
yeah, and I know that we've had a lot of talks in the past, you know, even before we had the man cave, you know, about Triple H taking over, and now he has an opportunity, and he's doing it, and he's bringing a lot of guys back that was, you know, that were let go, you know, a while back and everything, and the storylines are much better and improved, and the quality overall had just been, you know, so much better with wrestling. You know, they're actually wrestling more, so it's been definitely been pretty good, man. I've been enjoying it. Definitely been enjoying it. And before we go, Sadar, I want to let everybody know real quick, man, on our platform where they can find you at and what you're doing right now around the loop, whether it's DJing or being a realtor, man.
Well, not a realtor, but you can find me on them internets for more content, and I want to be putting out a little bit more. And I am the real estate DJ, and so I've been developing it. You know, I've been procrastinating a little bit, but developing a Twitch channel where I'm going to display both my real estate business and my DJing hobby and business there. So stay tuned. So all the selector on most platforms, so to speak.
T-Bone, tell everybody about what you got going on.
Well, you know, HBCW Wrestling. We've had 3 weeks of shows that have been on YouTube. So just, you know, HBCW space wrestling on YouTube. You'll be able to see all the action. Make sure you look for that red, yellow, and green logo just to make sure that you're watching the right show. But, you know, this week, week 4, we got some more action. There's going to be a big tag team match coming up, another ladies match. It's a rematch, actually, from some shenanigans that happened last week that we won't stand for here. So, you know, make sure you come out and check that. All the episodes release every Saturday morning Central Time at 8 a.m., but, you know, they'll be available for you till you want to see it. But make sure you go out there and check it. Hit that like and subscribe button. You know, I've been pretty happy with the action. I've been pretty happy with the views that we've been getting so far. I mean, you know, we've gotten thousands of views over the past few weeks, so I'm pretty happy with that combined. Yeah. So thank you all.
Bringing back Saturday morning wrestling, man.
Hey, that's exactly what it is. That was the title of the show. I didn't really put as much emphasis on that name this year, but last year when I was putting them up, that's exactly what I called it: Saturday morning wrestling.
Man, that's super dope, man. And as I brought it before, this Saturday, if you are available, come on out Saturday morning, Westport Plaza, 111 Westport Plaza Drive. Meet up at 8 a.m. for Team Action No Mercy. Coach Stringer on the panelist for a ladies' night is having the breast cancer awareness walk. You can order your shirt at www.actionnomercy.com. Wear some pink. Wear a nice outdoor outfit. I believe it's going to be very warm this weekend. So no excuses. Come on out for a great cause. Be a part of the Action No Mercy team. I'll be there. My wife will be there as well. We're going to have a good time and hold things down for a breast cancer awareness walk. Once again, this Saturday, 8 a.m., 111 Westport Plaza Drive. If you are familiar with where what is it called? What's that hotel called right there? Tip of the tongue. But they had 2 different plazas right there out there in Westport. Oh, not the Sheridan. It'll come back to me. My bad, y'all. But 111 Westport Plaza Drive, St. Louis, Missouri. Come on through. Breast cancer awareness walk. It's going to be a great, great time. Come on through and order your shirt once again at Action nomercy.com. So once again, this is your Wednesday night Sports Delight, the platform sports talk show. I am your boy Smoooth.
T-Bone.
And below we have
Sadal.
Make sure y'all go ahead and tune in next Wednesday as the Man Cave is back. It's going to be crazy. Look forward to it. Hope y'all tune in. Shouts out to everyone who watched the show this evening. Hit that like, share, enjoy all the shows we have on YouTube, on Roku, on Facebook. We have 5 years worth of television gold. I promise you, we got that covered. Y'all have a great week. Platform Sports Talk Show, and we are officially out, y'all. Peace out.